Hello, and in this tutorial we're going to go through missiles, sort of how do you know whether they'll fit in a unit, what do they do, and the various different methods of deployment. So first of all we're going to go to the missile production, and we're just going to go through how to check the size of the missile. So I'm going to double click on here, but it also shows it as the little missile symbol on there, the size of the missile. So you can see the MGM-52 Lance. If you double click on it, it's got a missile size of 6. So that means it takes 6 missile slots, but then the unit that it goes in must have a minimum size of 6 that it can take. Now, if I go down to the attackums, see this is also 6, but then the other attackums is only a size 3, so this generally fits in most land missile units. Now, you'll also notice that they have close air and mid air, so this also defines how they travel. So they basically travel like planes, effectively. So pretty much any unit would be able to shoot at this close air target because it's basically a helicopter. The mid-air target is effectively a plane. You'll also see you'll get high air targets. So you'll see traditionally these are like the ICBMs. These can only really be engaged by things like Fayad, Patriot, S500, etc. Now you'll also notice there's this little box here. It says launch authority is on. So you can change this now. You can also change it in the build queue. And if it's on, and then the missile gets deployed, it'll basically be able to fire itself without needing like a manual fire command from you. You can see typically things like nuclear weapons have it off, although depending on the nuclear weapon. So if they are a tactical nuclear weapon and you have that on, the AI will automatically fire them for you as long as you have the nuclear launch authority enabled. But strategic nukes you can't actually enable it at all. So how do you check whether a unit's got enough capacity? So I'm going to just go to a land unit to start with. We know there was some with 6, some with 3. We're going to go down to this BGM 109. This is actually the Tomahawk missile launcher, and you can see it has a missile size 12. So the largest missile size it could take is 12. But it could take any sort of ratio between 0 and 12, effectively, well, 1 and 12, and fill up the capacity to 216 points total. So basically this is the point that the missile, each individual missile would take. But that's the maximum capacity. So if it's a size 6, it'll take 6 points, not 12. If it's a size 3, it takes 3 points, not 12. And then you can make a combination to fill this unit up to 216 units as such. So that kind of covers how to find it. I mean, it's still the same with planes. I've got some planes here. So you can see, got the B-52, got a capacity of a missile size of 38. The F-16 here has a capacity of 8, of a size of 8. Seahawk has a size of 3. So those tend to be a lot of the smaller missiles. But what we'll do is we'll show you that you can deploy missiles. So basically you can go through here and you can press either deploy 1, which will just send effectively 1 missile to a random unit that has the capacity. You can load all missiles, which will deploy the entire stack. But anytime you build new ones, you'll need to redeploy them yourself manually if you do it this way. But there are a couple of other ways you can do things. So I'm going to just select the B-52. And you can manually load missiles. So you can basically select the unit, click load missiles, it'll open this little pop-up box. I've only got harpoons here. And you can either load single or load all. And this is, again, only a manual. So once all these missiles have been loaded and they've been fired off, they won't automatically reload into the unit. Now you can press this button, which unloads all the existing missiles on there, or you just send it to repair, which also does the same thing. When units go to reserve, they'll also unload any missiles on board. Now there is a different way of doing this. So you can go to, click on the unit, rules of engagement. And if you want to auto load missiles, and it'll pick ones of the correct type. Basically, go over here. You can get auto-load missiles to match rolls. Turn this on. What it'll do is it will, and you can also disable the auto-load as well, which is fine because then any manual missiles, and then it will pick up on any of these targets. So basically, I've only got air anti-ship missiles. See, it's loaded all the harpoons I've got. But you can actually say, okay, well, I don't want this to load this missile, so I'll just do that. But then I want to load not anti-ship missiles, so I want to load engage ground targets. So I want it to still be a fighter plane. So if I unselect this engage naval targets, and I press this auto load, you'll see it hasn't loaded any of the missiles. Even with that, alright. But with that off, it'll still accept auto deployed, but I tend to just leave them both off. So just because it's a bit easier then. You don't have to worry. But you can see the AI has built in the background for me, built me a bullpup missile. So it's ignored these harpoons. And because I've only been set to engage ground targets and not naval targets, it hasn't loaded any of these spare harpoons, only the bullpup missiles. So that is literally it for being able to load and select missiles. Missiles have different types of targets, so you can, I'll just quickly go through that as well, so you can see you've got ones that are mainly designed to do air to ground. Guided missiles will track targets. Unguided missiles, so you can see this is a guided missile. That will track a target when it fires. This one won't, because it doesn't have this little symbol here. And then the other symbol that you're really interested in is this symbol. So this ATACMS missile, if you fire a missile at a target, it will only hit that one target that you have selected. Now, if you were to fire a lance at the same target, it will actually damage all units, including if you manage to get any friendly units into the same hex. All of them will be basically hit by that missile. It's effectively the same as artillery being used on it. But that's basically covers everything. So if you got any more suggestions for tutorials, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.